Hi, awesome humans. Welcome. We are on our episode 2 here of Women and More Money. Oh, today we've got Pengi. Hi, Queen of Wands 33. Welcome. Just waiting for Shannon, our other money mindset coach. She will be joining us. Very super excited. Yeah, and please feel free. Oh, thanks. Heart received, Queen of Wands. Feel free to put any questions down below. Hi, Shannon.
Hi. How are you?
Good. How are you feeling?
I'm going down. Yep, it's happening.
Hi, Heel. And everybody, just so you know, Shannon is such a trooper. She is like down and out for the count, but she's like, I'm gonna make it to her IG live.
I'm gonna do it. So I'll be coughing into my elbow, but think nothing of it.
That's fine. How do you feel about my new headband?
So explain this one to me.
I love Shannon. She's like totally suffering, and she's like, let me hear about your headband. Okay, so this I got at an amusement park called Everland, which he all will know about because he's joining us from Korea. She says your new headband is awesome. It's actually not like new, but it's old because I couldn't find my usual bunny ears that I wear. And so I was looking around the house and I found this was got years ago. My husband got a matching one because that's what you do as a couple in Korea. You get matchy. And then I never wore it. So I wore it that one time and I was like, and his name is Pengi. So I'm like, I'm going to be bringing Pengi back. So that's the situation.
Original.
Enough about Pengi. I love your earrings. You look amazing.
Oh, thank you.
Okay, friends. So we're gonna be talking about sidestepping.
Mm.
Do you want to share? Shall we because we know what sidestepping is.
Yeah, I think you created it, didn't you? Didn't you come up with that term?
I feel like I did.
Yeah, you did. But when you described it, I was like, yeah, we see it all the time. Absolutely. So you go for it. Tell the people what sidestepping is or how it pertains to what we're talking about tonight.
Okay, yeah, and feel free to jump in to add on in between your call. You're so proper. Look at you not spreading COVID or cold. You're cold.
My cold. Yeah. No, I don't have COVID.
Okay.
All right.
But preventing the spread in general.
Correct.
Hygiene. Okay. So sidestepping. So I see this. So I was talking to Shannon about this because Shannon and I have long slumber party conversations, for those of you who don't know. And she's the best money mindset coach on the planet. If you don't know about her, get to know her, follow her social media. It's so good. All of her stuff is so good. And it just makes you stop in your thought tracks. But yeah, so we were talking about our clients and how we see this overlap with our clients where they're basically scared to start something.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So a budget plan, saving money, or, for me, I don't know, similar things, because I think everything kind of goes back to money, right?
Yeah.
It may not seem like it's about money. And then we kind of talked about how we see our clients doing not just these three, but the typical 3 things of sidestepping, right? So they want to launch this beautiful company of their own, or they want to leave their awful company, or they want more, right, for their lives, but they're scared. Understandably, we're also scared.
Absolutely.
Shannon and I, right? We've talked about being scared to scale our businesses.
Right.
right? But three of the ways that we notice that our clients sidestep, and feel free to share to those of you who are here if there's anything that you notice. Number one, getting another job in the same industry that you don't really like.
Mm-hmm.
Number two, getting another degree. Number three, getting another certification. So yeah, so those are things where you're sidestepping the dream or a plan or something awesome that could get you on your way to more money, more awesomeness, more alignment of who you are and what you want for your life. So yeah, what are your thoughts, Shannon?
Yeah, I mean, when I heard you say sidestepping, I was like, that's so perfect, because you are circumventing what you want, but you're doing it in such a way that you're finding the same safe area, right, that you're in. So it looks like you're heading in the right direction. The perception is, you're going for it, you're doing more, and you're going to reach your target, but you lost sight of what the target is. You know what I mean? Because you're playing it so safe, right? And I love what you said about, it's so true, going for that other degree. Like, why are you furthering your degree in this field that you want to get out of, right? Oh, if I just have another certification in this particular area, then I'll be able to launch the business. And then I'll be able to start selling what I have to offer. Then I'll be able to, tell everybody about it, right? And it's so apparent to the person that you're speaking to your coach, or and that's why I think so much that you need a coach, because you need somebody to see your brain, right? But it's so apparent that you're doing it, and it's these little, ever so slight side shuffles, where you're getting away from the goal, and it really is. It's destructive because of that perception that you're moving forward, but you're not. You're not.
Yeah, no, that's such an insightful point, Shannon. So Heather just joined us from California, and Queen of Wands 33 said she needed to hear this. Totally. We also like every other day,
Yeah.
But your point, so to your point, Shannon, which is so insightful of, I love that point of the perceived progress,
Mm-hmm.
right, in the wrong direction or the seemingly right direction.
Yeah.
And it's also, in a way, I don't know if you see this with your clients, and I think you might have mentioned this to me at one point, but the procrastination.
Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely.
So I can't do XYZ because I have to do ABC. And
Yeah.
the ABC is the sidestepping.
Well, it's funny because I do want to come back to the procrastination, but I was just thinking about the sidestepping and making progress, but not in the direction that you want to go in. So my brother-in-law recently moved to Manhattan, well, to Brooklyn. And so he was coming out to Jersey, and I was like, why is it taking him so long to get here? And he had gotten on the wrong train, going in the wrong direction. Then I don't know what happened. Then he missed the connection in Penn Station, and the whole thing was like a total mess, right? And I'm thinking about, that's the same thing that people are doing when they're sidestepping. Like, they go in the wrong direction, right? Then they got to turn around. Then they've missed other opportunities. And all this time has been wasted, and they're frustrated, and they're wondering, why can't this happen for me? And why, I really am miserable going in all these other directions instead of heading towards my goal. But they're going in the opposite direction. The only difference is intentionally.
Yeah, and that's the sabotage.
Absolutely.
Right? Where
yeah,
if you, and I know you and I talk about this all the time too, you know, very few, you know, it's like the diet, you know, very few of us understand the body and food. And, you know, similar, like very few of us understand the mind and how it works. Right? So, you know, the mind and our ancestor brain wants to protect us. Right. So being outside of your comfort zone, right?
That's not safe. That's not safe.
That's not safe. That's not safe. It's better to get lost on the trains.
That's right.
And get frustrated than to actually, you know, it's like, it's such a mind bug. Like, I know you and I were talking about, I think maybe last week, I don't know, we talk so often, but about my third book. And I remember how I confessed to you, like, my whole workaround. Because for me, you know, I have all my subconscious mind where 90% of my thoughts live, you know, it's like, no, you can't write a third book. That's not safe for you. Even though that's the dream, right? Like,
right.
And so everything is like, no, you can't type on your laptop, or you can't bring your laptop out to cafes because of COVID. Then you're gonna have to come home and sterilize your laptop, which is probably gonna take like all of 5 minutes.
Right.
So you cannot write a third book because you're not gonna be able to bring your laptop, and you certainly can't write at home either because you've got too many distractions at home. So to circumvent that, I was telling Shannon that I have just started writing in a notebook with pen and paper. Because otherwise I'll never start.
Yeah.
You know, and it'll just be the procrastination and like getting lost. And I'm also like, I totally feel your brother-in-law, because I feel like that would totally happen to me. Like, because I'm totally mapped and geographically challenged. I'm like, he is me. I am him.
That is so funny.
Anyway, so what are your thoughts on, like for you, like what you see, you know, what's a tiny step that, you know, like when you work with your clients, you know, and you're helping them. I know you work miracles, and like, you know, it's like you share like how clients, you know, they don't have to cut back on their budget, right? Like how we talk about the dieting, right? Like you can't eat that food.
Exactly.
Right. So yeah, I would love to hear your thoughts.
Yeah, it's interesting because the sidestepping, because like you mentioned, everybody has those fears, right? And then you couple that with folks who they believe they can't do the things they want to do because they can't figure out money, right? So they use money as an excuse, which that's a common excuse or objection that we use in society. And everybody's like, oh, okay, fine. Yep. I don't have the money. Oh, okay. And everybody, that shuts down most conversations, except with us, right?
Except with us.
It's so true, because it's like, really? And what I've noticed is that is a really acceptable reason to not pursue just about anything, right? Not having the money. And so once these folks get an understanding of like where their money's going, what they think and feel about money, how it's showing up in all these areas of their lives, once they have that transition and that transformation and that shift, then they start to get back on track for like, and head towards what they want. They don't do the sidestepping as much because they can no longer use, first of all, I don't have the money. I don't know where the money is. Where am I going to get the money? Because the whole time that we're working together, we're talking about how can you create money, right? Money is easy. It's easy to come by. It's easy to keep. So if you're learning some of the tools, but also understanding that you can create it, and once they get that feeling that they have that security about it, then they start reevaluating all the stuff that they've been doing, all that sidestepping, and they're like, I don't want to do that anymore. And it's like, don't. You don't have to. You don't have to.
That's amazing.
But they need the mirror. They need the mirror being held up to their brains. We all do.
Yeah, that's amazing. I love that, of using, that's such an insightful point, using money as an excuse.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, when you said what you said about, you know, that like money is not easy to come by, right? Or money has to be, right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But the flip side of that, right? And you're getting your clients to that point, which is incredible. But, you know, the flip side of that, where so many of us live, right? So many of our subconscious minds live. Let's just get clear on that. And that's where my world is, right? The limiting belief of, you know, money is hard to come by. I can't make money. The only way I can make money is in a 9-to-5 that I hate. Right. And those limiting beliefs that, you know, you and I have talked about, and I share so much, you know, are not even yours.
Right.
You know, we're carrying around, especially as women and identifying as women of color, like, you know, generations of that kind of trauma, that we're like, wait a second, it's not mine.
Right.
And it doesn't serve me. And I love how you said about, you know, then your clients, once they kind of work on that and they get to, you know, getting money can be easy, right? Or is easy. Then they kind of reflect back on their life, right? To kind of unlearn, you know, all of that which they made those decisions on.
Yeah.
And that's what a profound change, right? In the money mindset shift for them.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Because we're carrying a lot of this baggage with us, and not just from childhood, like, as you expressed, like ancestral baggage, right?
Right. And it gets heavy the longer that you don't look at it, if that makes sense. Right. So the
longer you turn away from it, the heavier it gets. That kind of, yeah, absolutely.
Right. So it's kind of like, you know, when you talk about that lost, you know, your brother-in-law, it's that feeling of being lost, but the backpack you're carrying that's not yours is getting heavier.
Well, that's good. Yeah.
Right. Because it's one thing, like, of course, it's really frustrating, like, as someone who gets lost often in life, and both literally and figuratively. It's one thing to be lost, right?
Yeah.
But you don't have a backpack, right? And you're just like, la la la. Right. But then it's another thing on top of that to be lost, and you're carrying someone else's backpack, and it gets increasingly heavier.
Right. Because you're carrying this load with you and you're off course. Like, what is going on? Right?
Yeah. So
how do these women, how do they get back on course, on track? Just how do they stop sidestepping and actually, you know, fulfill these goals and these dreams?
Yeah. That's a really great question. It's so good. So, you know, when we were talking about this possible topic, right, we kind of came to the thought of, it's scared to start, you know, the dream job, you know, or leave a job that you don't like, or, you know, you're scared to not, you know, get another job, get another degree, get another certification, right?
Right.
But then we zoomed out even more, right? And we talked about how, wait a second, our clients and us also sometimes we're scared to start anything. Anything that pushes up that we haven't done, or like me, I'm creating this online course for the first time. That's scary as shit. Like, so the word that Shannon and I, this scared to start, this 3 words that the 2 of us keep coming back to, is it lends us the clue, which is there's fear. Right? You talk about the shame, which totally, like, blame, shame, and guilt are also players.
Yeah.
But when and it's kind of synchronistic, because it's the week in my 9-week course that I'm recording for my online thingy, where I talk about fear. It's the week on fear. But, because in our lives, growing up in school, we don't have the tools to deal with, money or fear, or not sidestepping. We don't know how to, right? And like back to your point of getting a coach, right? We're like paralyzed, right? There's that paralysis around fear.
Yeah.
Right. But that back to your question of, well, how do we, get our lives on track? Well, we have to look at the fear, right? Because, back to your brother-in-law, is he going to be watching this?
I don't know.
But back to your brother-in-law loss with the backpack that's getting heavier. If you are along that journey, and you're like, I'm not going to look at fear. I'm not going to look at fear. You cannot move forward.
Right.
You have to look at the fear.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. I think that what's so key here is that there's going to be fear every step along the way. Newsflash, like, it doesn't go away.
Newsflash.
Because there's this belief that you're going to get to a certain point and you're going to like, oh, okay, I'm okay with that. No, you're not. You're not ever going to be okay with that, because, like you said, your primitive brain wants to keep you safe. So every time you push those boundaries, your brain's going to be like, what are you doing? Get back in the cave. You know what I mean? Like, stay safe. And that fear is going to appear every single step along the way. So I think once you can embrace that, it doesn't make it go away, right? But once you acknowledge the fact that it's going to exist, and you embrace it, and going back to what we talked about last week about belonging, but a different twist to that, is having a community of people who get it, right? Other women who get it, who know where you are, know where you've been, know where you want to go, who've been there, who's doing it with you, whatever stage in the process, but those folks that are willing to take the steps.
Yeah,
that's
totally.
where the difference is. Yeah.
Hi, Local Mud. Welcome.
Local Mud. I love that name.
Local Mud. Yeah, no, I love that community piece. So you always bring it back to the belonging. Just one thing I wanted to add to our analogy. Our analogy keeps like, you're fucking kidding. So in that backpack that you're carrying while being lost is
on the train.
Fear. On the train is fear. In there with blame, shame, guilt, and the other thingies.
Yep.
And again, like the limiting beliefs that are also in that backpack, the fear does not belong to you. That was so profound for me when I realized my fear around making money. After you have one conversation with Shannon, your life will be changed, because she'll be like, well, why would you think that? Why would you think that? And then using, getting to subconscious mind work, like getting into, well, whose money fear is that? Oh, wait a second, it was my great grandfather's because he went bankrupt. Wait, that's not mine.
Right.
So being able to, so back to your, talking about the belonging, right, in the community. So that's where you can sit down, take a break, get the snacks out on your lost journey. Get the snacks out, get the water, sit down, and you can open your backpack that you're carrying and look at that. And also realizing that all the other women have stuff in their backpacks.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
And there's this great, I just want to share this, there's this great data point with positive psychology that, I don't know if I've shared this with you before, but that, so if there's like one person, like one of us were to look at this mountain, like the journey, and you're less likely to hike that, right? If you are alone. However, if you are with a group of people, group of women in this case, and you look at the very same mountain, you're going to be more likely to hike that mountain, no matter how steep.
I love that.
Right? And so that's proof with data, right, to what you're talking about, your group programs as well, right? That
absolutely,
that they can hear and see themselves in other people's stories.
Exactly. Right. There's so much power in those groups, in those incubators, in those masterminds, because you have not only the support of all of the individuals in there, but you have the collective vision with everybody in there, right? And it's so powerful. So very powerful. Yeah. I love that. That's so good.
We both said I love that at the same time. And Queen of Wands said, yes!
Yay!
Does anybody have any questions that they want to ask us? Like, Shannon, how are you feeling? Do you want to like kind of wrap up? Because I know you want to get to bed.
Well, I don't want to have a coughing fit, so I know I've been like holding it in. So sorry, everyone, if you had to hear all the hacking. I feel like an old smoker.
Not at all. You seem really like well put together.
It's all falling. It's smoke and mirrors here, baby.
You're so funny.
Yeah, I mean, if anybody has any questions, that's great. If not, we're going to be here next week talking more about money and talking about women and getting more money. I would really love to hear everyone's thoughts about money. Like, what's holding you back, if anything, whether in this with this concept of what we're talking about, like being scared to start or sidestepping
or anything.
Yeah, we're open to it.
Yeah, because I've always been really intimidated by the subject of money, kind of like I love what Shannon said last week. If you catch our first episode, which I feel like was so long ago, but it just was last week.
Right.
Shannon had this great, so Shannon's also really great with, I call them Shannonisms. She has these great analogies, but she was talking about, remember how you talk about the hammer and how a hammer is just like a tool? And we're just like, oh, it's like the hammer. And it's just a tool. We don't like associate all this drama to it, but with money we do, right? Oh, Queen of Wands says, get some rest. Heart, I'll be contacting you both soon. Yay!
Thank you.
We'd love to hear from you. But yeah, when Shannon said that, I was like, that kind of hurt. I could feel it in my body.
Yeah.
That like, wait a second, I've been doing that with not just the word money, but lots of other words like no. As a healerpreneur, as an entrepreneur, right? The word no. right? From clients or, potential clients, things like that, right? That's a
Right.
slight tangent. But anyway, so all of this just to say, we want to break the silence around money, because when we do, and I think we talked about this last week, and more money is in the hands of women,
Mm-hmm.
Really all the data and all of, the research suggests and shows and proves that, women do so much more for their communities. The world is literally lifted.
Absolutely.
And that's what we wish for you.
Exactly. I love that.
Yay! Shall we wrap it up?
Yes, we should. That was a great note to end on, because it's so true, and I can feel that. It's wonderful.
Thank you.
Thanks,
for being
lady.
with
I
us.
love doing this with you.
You're amazing. Get better soon, and
I will.
We'll see y'all next week.
Yes. Thanks, everyone.
Okay. Bye.